Let's talk a little bit about this airline. How do you stop it going bankrupt?
I think the big focus area is going to be around revenue optimization, route optimization, making sure that we fly the routes that are profitable, but also making sure that the underlying cost structure is dealt with, and in order to actually bring it to profitability. So route optimization, revenue stimulation, focusing on ancillary revenues, but also really reviewing cost structure, the underlying cost of the airline to improve the economics of the overall airline.
Let's talk about that last factor you talked about. What conversations are you having with unions? What conversations are you having with staff? Many would argue that relative to the performance of the business, relative to other carriers, you pay your pilots and some of your staff a lot of money. Can we expect that to be the main focus?
So there are a number of things that we're going to put into play at SAA today. We'll review contracts in terms of the aircraft leases. We're going to rationalize the fleet in order to bring better efficiency and productivity. And we're also going to be engaging the people of SAA around what it will take to bring airline back on its feet. And it's going to need engagement with staff. It's going to need that trade-offs and sacrifices be made. But there are a number of areas where we have to focus on to take out costs. It's not just the staff. It's also going to be the type of leases we have, the kind of aircrafts we've got, the kind of fleet we have, so that we can bring greater efficiency and greater productivity within the whole base.
Do you think you're ever going to be able to compete with an airline like Emirates?
Well, if you look at SAA, SAA is very, very strong in domestic and the regional play in Africa, in the continent, and it's all about what kind of which areas do you pick to compete in. Of course, the international routes is going to be very, very important to focus on, but the big part is going to be a Pan-African regional network, if you like, that will give us strength because we've got traffic rights and landing slots in that area, which gives us a bit of a capability to compete.
Is there political pressure to keep some of the unprofitable routes open?
Guy, I've not been given any specific task to say do this and don't do that. The only mandate I've been given by the board is simple, is to say turn around SAA, and the only way to turn around SAA is to really focus on commercial consideration in all the decisions we make. And there's been no ask to say keep this route open for any other reasons, but we have to execute on commercial considerations only.
What is you've obviously been put in at a very interesting time. We have politics in flux in South Africa. What is your relationship with the government? What is your relationship, as you say, you haven't been given any specific instructions other than to turn around, but what is your relationship with the finance minister right now? Well,
Guy, we've got the board. I report to the board today, and that board has the responsibility to engage with the shareholder, which is the Treasury Ministry, and they have to execute on the specific shareholder compact. And in that compact that has been shared with me, it's all about commercial consideration. So the board has to give us the room to operate, and they are engaging with the ministry. So from where I sit today, it's all about commercial delivery, turning around the SAA, making sure that we improve customer experience, because even during time of difficulty, we have to make sure that customers choose us ahead of competition. And so far, they are still doing that.
OK, but the politics is changing pretty fast. Do you expect the mandate to change in any shape or form? If we were to see a change in the president, if we were to see a change in the finance minister, these things are not uncommon. What kind of guarantees have you been given about the operating environment you find yourself in by the government?
I think the biggest guarantee that anyone can talk about in SAA today is the fact that SAA is in the state where it's cash-strapped and it has to be turned around, and there's not enough leeway in the fiscus to continue to actually bail out state-owned enterprises. And actually, I think Parliament itself has been very clear that this must be run on profitable basis, on commercial sustainable basis. So I think there's no better protection than that. I think the shareholder has been very clear that they want a commercial viable SAA, and even their decision to say they want to consider a strategic equity partner signals the need to commercialize the business.